a minute late. I profusely apologize for that. Let me see if I can't move this camera here for myself. I'm doing this while working today, so bear with me here. There we go. That way when I look at the computer, I'm not looking so far away from the phone. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio okay. Everybody make sure you hit the like button. Why is it not playing on my computer now? I don't know. There. All right, we're good. So, got home from Matt's on Sunday. Too tired to do a live show. Just kind of worn out from the weekend, honestly. So, thought I'd do a live today and talk about it. What we did, what we didn't do, who we met, and some conversations that I had, some meetings that I had. So we headed down. We left on, when did we leave? Thursday morning. We left the house about 6 in the morning. Had a couple projects to do before we got down there. So we got down there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We went right there, didn't go to the hotel. Had to try and have a meeting with Ambest before they went home. Some of them guys were flying out. Had a meeting with them for a little bit. And then right to the FMCSA booth. Had a good long conversation with them. It was a little tense, but we'll come back to that because there's a lot I want to say about that FMCSA stuff, what they had to say and what their seminar was about and what they're doing now. So we'll come back to that. Who do we got in here today? Let's just Doug on it. We got Skip Hansen in the house. Says get on with it already. Jeez. Corky Hansen, shut up, Skip. Jeffy Hansen says, would the two of you guys stop arguing for just one day, please? Looks like we got the Hansen family battle in here today, folks. Gosh, dang, you guys. Throat Coat Pote says, I missed the show this year. I mean, it's right by my house, but I'm too ashamed to show my face. Gosh, dang, you guys are brutal. Trucker's Assistant Coach TV, it says, oh, I covered it for you, Pote. All right. Spot Market Willie in the house says, I love brokers. Screw your contract freight. How's that working out for you right now, Spot Market Willie? Cassius King says he's timing people out. Okay. Welcome back says, finally someone agrees with me about the FMCSA being garbage. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit here. Cheap Freight Hauler says, shout out to the trolls in the house today. Freight Law in the house. FMCSA is like a paper tiger insofar as it takes real work and effort to regulate a difficult industry like trucking. And many government agencies are allergic to real work. Wow. Lolly Sanders looking for that child support money. Omar Singh in the house. How you doing, buddy? Says, I'm watching but not hitting the like button. Okay. Jersey Trucker in here. Oh, Jersey Trucker. You just wait till next year. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Skinny Peter says, I just took Cialis. Okay. What's the rules on bridge jokes in here? Keep them coming. Keep them coming. William Danforth, where's DIY? I'm right here. I'm right here. Jerome Jones in the house. Did not make it to the truck show. Says, let's go. He was a late arrival. Robbie Hansen in the house says, my truck is 007 because I'm not unoriginal douche that has 777. Dang it. Dang it. WCF Invader, thank you, DIY. I'll sit back and take in the information. Anything you can publicly share about your meeting with Triumph. So yeah, I had a short meeting with Triumph. We actually talked 2 days. The first day, we just said hi. So the lady that I talked to there, Ashley, God bless her. I haven't spoken to her a while because you guys know everything with Triumph and Surge and all that. And she said, hi, Adam. I'm like, hey. She's like, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch with you for a while, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, well, I figured you guys canceled me because of what happened. She didn't know anything about it. She's like, what happened? So I told her the whole story, and she's like, oh, well, she's not, a Triumph lawyer. She's not involved in all that. And she's like, and I made it very clear. I says, I think you guys, in regards to the Surge situation, I think you guys made a bad decision. Like, I understand you're watching out for yourselves. and you try and act in the best interest of your customers. But I'll always say you made a bad decision, and nothing will ever change my mind on that. If we sat down right now with whoever from your company, I'll tell them you made a bad decision. And she's like, I understand. I understand completely. We're regulated. We're a bank. We have to do what we have to do. We have to act certain ways. She's like, I'm not involved in any of that. She don't speak for any of that. No knowledge of any of that. But that's kind of the way it is. And I'm like, well, okay. So that's been between us now for better than 6-8 months. I still like you guys as a factoring company. I think you're one of the better ones there. But there's been this issue, and if that's not between you and I said let's kind of try and rekindle this relationship. So we talked about that for a while, and it was good. It was good. I'm glad we met and had that conversation, because you don't really want things just hanging out there between you and somebody and having tension. So am I mad at them? No. Are they mad at me? Absolutely not. Absolutely. She's like, there's not mad at you at all. So that was good to have that conversation. And that's what we'll leave it at. And then the second day we met up, talked for probably a half hour, and talked to just about a lot of what's going on in the industry, and especially the fraud. I aired my grievances about Go Highway, or Highway, whatever the hell they call themselves. And her in her position, she's marketing and such, didn't know about a lot of this. And she expressed, they get a lot of fraud perpetrated on them. So there's this, where the two sides meet in the middle, where there's people doing fraud against us, there's people doing fraud against them. And what do? Obviously, anything we do on our side affects them. Anything they do on their side affects us. So it's a bad situation. And I this is going to tie into the FMCSA thing later that I'll talk about. So, and then we talked about fuel, interest rates, everything going on in the industry, slow freight, narrow margins. So it was a pretty good conversation. And they're smart. They're aware of a lot of that, and their customers having a hard time, just like probably the rest of us are. So I'm glad just that one conversation right there was worth going to the truck show for me, to rekindle that respect and that relationship, and just to know, they're not mad at me, I'm not mad at them. It was a legal issue that came between us. So it is what it is, right? This Truck and Life says, hello, DIY's coffee mug. Should I fill in the good stories? Okay. Killian's Trucking says, must be nice to go to truck shows. Hey, it was open to the public. You could have come. I'm just saying. You're your boss. You're your own boss. You can come if you want to. Hollywood says, Mr. DIY, how you been? We've been good. Buck Brown in the house says, my fellow steering wheel holders, hello. Yeah. Hollywood says, Matt's did you right? We had a good time. So I can honestly say that I didn't do hardly anything that we went there to do. I was going to go to a bunch of seminars, go to, all the talks, more so than the other stuff this year. Didn't end up seeing one of them, because, well, I'm going to place the blame squarely on you, Jersey Trucker. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this on your broad shoulders. There was a feller there who's in the chat named Jersey Trucker, who, I don't know, he has a GPS tracker somewhere put on me, because he could find me anywhere in that truck show with a backpack full of beer and various assortments. So I had a good time. We hung out quite a bit, and we went out to dinner, went out afterwards, had a good time. So it was myself, the wife, Paul from Freight Connect. We met up with Paul from Freight Connect and his friend, and then Shannon Thomas Trucking. And, we met up with some, one of my drivers was there, Justin, like I said, Jersey Trucker, a friend of mine, Carl, and his wife, fiance, whatever. We all kind of hung out, walked around, did some stuff. Saturday morning, had a meeting with EFS with a breakfast. We went to Cracker Barrel, 3.5 hour breakfast at Cracker Barrel because they're so freaking busy. That was ridiculous. Met up with my EFS rep. That was good to meet face to face. We talked about some issues and got everything squared away and worked out. So that was nice to meet them. Met in passing a few subscribers and a few other YouTubers. I'm bad at it. I don't remember everybody's name. It's so loud in there. And with my hearing, it's loud and I can't differentiate voices unless I really focus sometimes on what they're saying. So I missed a few names. I apologize for that. But hey, it happens, right? So on the way down there, about an hour before we got there, I got a phone call from one of my drivers. Hey, my truck just got hit. And I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. Like, no, truck just got hit. Third truck this year sitting in a dock that got backed into. And now this put me in a bad mood, right? The dude wouldn't give our driver any of his paperwork, his insurance card, whatever. So like, he's going to call my driver called the cops. Sheriff's department shows up. And the dude don't speak a word of English. Not even a hello. So we're in a situation, whatever. I don't know where he was from. There was another driver there, a few dock doors down, that happened to be whatever, spoke the same language. So he came over to interpret for that driver. And I'm like, wait a minute. This ain't right. This ain't right. This is against the rules. You know, you're required to speak English. So I told my driver, I said, get that sheriff to take that guy's license and cut it in half. Put him out of service. Because, you know, he's violating section, blah, 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 whatever. 3 trucks hit so far this year. And it's only March. All of them sitting in a dock. All 3 of them, the other guy couldn't speak a lick of English. Now, I'm mad at you because you're from another place and can't speak English. I'm mad at you because it's a public safety issue. I'm held to that standard. You know, you guys are all held to that standard. So this put me in a feeling a certain kind of way, really bad mood. I got to find my charger here because my phone's about to die. I was too stupid to plug it in. I'll work on that while I'm talking. So got all that sorted out. Bunch of nonsense. The guy. So I want a picture of the door on that truck. So the driver sent it to me, and I started looking, and you know, wife's driving. I'm on safer. This truck is registered to 3 different companies. The name on the accident report from his registration does not match the name on the door. There's multiple problems here. The MCS 150 has this company listed with 1 truck, but last year they turned 450,000 miles and had 33 inspections and a 25% out of service rate. Oh, and this company started in November of 2023. So you tell me how all that adds up. So I save all this on my phone because we're so close to Matt's by now. We get there and I beeline it right to the FMCSA booth. Put all this information right in front of him. And I said, this is bullshit. I said, this is the 3rd truck I had this year get hit. And it's only March. They don't speak a lick of English. And you guys are letting it happen. I said, this fraud is ridiculous. I laid out everything for him. I'm like, look, you tell me a guy with 1 truck has had 33 inspections since November. This truck is registered to 3 different companies. They're all chameleon carriers. I'm going to get my phone charger while I'm talking here. And I says, you guys got to do something about it. Here's the information. You know, have at it. It's all right here. You don't have to do anything. I've done it all for you. That's the wrong charger. He's like, yeah, you know, we've been working on this. We know all about it. Blah, blah, blah. You know, saying all the right things in the book. And I'm like, okay, then what do we do about it? He's like, man, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. I'm like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do about it? He says, you know all this. I said, I don't even know if this insurance is valid because it don't look right. I've never heard of this company. I'm trying to look it up. And he's like, yeah, I'm an investigator. There's 4 people behind the table. They were all investigators, and they're all frustrated because they investigate fraud all day, every day. I said, why don't you go into Chicago and blow the place up? Most of this fraud is coming out of Chicago. He's like, I know, and we're investigating it. He says, I'm personally investigating it. I'm like, evidence is all right here. Why are they not out of service? Well, he says, because when I do these investigations and I take it to my higher ups, they tell me to leave it alone. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Leave it alone. He's like, they say leave it alone, or they say we'll take it from here. And what do you think happens after that? Not a damn thing. He's like, we're frustrated. Oh, there was a lady behind the table that was just fit to be tied. She's like, I'm with you. I know everything you're saying is 100% true. We're told to leave it alone. So it's not the people. It's not that they need to investigate. They are investigating. They have all the evidence. They're told to leave it alone. So this has got to go to the higher ups, the people. Then at that point, you are in the political realm. So, wherever you want to go with that. He's like, I said, you passed this rule, a few years ago to make it harder for these guys to burn through carriers, MC numbers, ditch one and just move on to the next one. And I says, they're doing it every day. He's like, we know, and we're on to it. He says, we go as far as to, they're dumb enough to use the same credit card number to sign up for the next carrier. They'll take and put that new company in a driver's name and just continue business as usual. I said, well, he's like, we're on to them. I says, yeah, but they're burning through MC numbers faster than you guys can be onto them. I says, and this is where it kind of triggered me. I says, you guys need to do on-site audits. I said, enough. No more remote audits. He says, you'll catch most of this stuff. He's like, he swears up and down that everybody's getting an on-site audit now. If you're a new company, if you're this, if you're that, whatever, it's an on-site audit. I said, bull. I don't believe that for a second. Maybe they have started doing it. I don't know. But we talked a great deal about, and I said, how are these companies coming in? One day they don't exist, and next day in Chicago they got 300 trucks. Where's the money coming from? He's like, where do you think it's coming from? I said, well, it's coming from overseas. He said, you're exactly right. And once again, we take that to the higher ups, and they say leave it alone. So, what does that tell you? Well, the FMCSA, they had a list, their listening session or whatever. They put out this new initiative, right? So you know what their idea is to get rid of fraud in trucking? Incidentally, it's not going to get rid of fraud. It's going to make it exponentially worse. They're going to get rid of MC numbers. You won't have to get an MC number anymore to get a trucking authority. It's going to all be done by the US-DOT number, which that doesn't make a difference. What the hell is it's just a number. That in itself makes no difference. But to go along with that, they say, we're getting rid of the arbitrary waiting period for your authority to go active. This arbitrary waiting period, like it exists for no reason. Well, it does exist for a reason. It's supposed to be so they have time to vet you, and so that it's a public comment period. So if somebody has an objection, they could comment, and you're supposed to be vetted. That's going to be supposedly taken away. So they claim with this new system that when you apply, an account is going to be opened for you. Like, you not having an account is what's responsible for all the fraud in the industry right now. So, right? Like, you're going to have this magical account. It says they'll have phone numbers, email address, so that when we have a question, we can call you. That exists now. It exists now. They're acting like the reason for this and what's going to solve it is because you don't have an account and they don't have access to you, and it's too hard and too complicated to get a motor carrier authority. Well, so the answer to the fraud is to make it way easier and way faster to get a chameleon carrier authority and burn through MC numbers. They can't keep up to it now. What do you think it's going to be like when that waiting period goes away and you can start a new authority, in the blink of an eye? They will never keep up to the chameleon carriers and people smoking through authorities and the fraud. The fraud, it will get exponentially worse with these new initiatives. Sad to say, it is going to get so hard to do business. So that basically leaves it to the private sector to deal with this fraud. There is nothing they can do. If so, I asked about the English thing, and the lady that was kind of beside herself. This was somewhat of a tense moment. I was being good, I was being respectful, um, because badgering them will get you arrested. As another guy found out the next day, he was there raising absolute hell at the FMCSA table about speed limiters, and the Kentucky State Trooper walked up behind him and put his hand on his arm, and the guy turned around and wigged out at the freaking sheriff or trooper, whatever the hell he was. He found out what handcuffs feel like. So you got to be, you know, handle yourself right. Okay. You put them on the defensive too, and they just shut down. You want them to know that you're firm and you're concerned, but yet at the same time you can be cooperative and respectful, because they have no power, right? They're people just like you and I. But anyway, about the English thing, she told me that they're not allowed to pursue it. They are not allowed to uphold any tickets anymore about the not speaking English, because the higher ups say it's discrimination and they can't do it. They're not going to get rid of the rule and the regulation. They're just saying, no, you can't do that. It's discrimination. Let the rule stand, let the law stand. Well, that's, for lack of a better term, chicken shit, if you ask me. If you're so bold and so convicted that it's discrimination, get rid of this discriminatory law, but you don't have the balls to do that. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. So the bottom line is, fraud is going to get worse. Nobody is going to do anything about it to help you. The government is not interested in helping you, even though they could. They're playing politics with it. That's right from the people at the FMCSA. They're playing politics with it, and it's up to us. It's up to the private sector, and it's not something, because anything the companies do is, like, I'm dealing with it right now with this company called Highway. In the beginning, I thought they could be a good thing, and yeah, get rid of some fraud, but it's turned into something where I spoke to somebody before I went to the truck show. He and I had a private conversation, and he's beside himself about this Highway thing, and I am too. It's making it hard for legit carriers to book loads because of the information that Highway is providing to brokers. If they see certain information tied to your authority, they report it. They don't differentiate if you have ever had a report of double brokering or fraud, and you are no different than the fraudster who double brokered 10 loads yesterday. Right? There's no risk assessment score. There's no anything. And somebody put me on an assignment at the truck show to find a transportation attorney to bring a lawsuit against them. I didn't see any transportation attorneys there. Not anybody that deals with litigation. There were some that deal with like contracts and insurance, but they didn't really do the other part. So that was kind of a bust. I was interested in hearing if they thought there was anything there, like libel, or at the very least, like torturous interference. Lawyers really like that torturous interference things these days. But I didn't see anybody, and I got didn't make the whole rounds anyway. But so yeah, because I've been told, I haven't had this done to me personally, that now, in addition to all the bad information that Highway is giving out, that they're tracking IP addresses. So if I'm a carrier and I have a driver or multiple drivers that can dispatch themselves, my office is in Illinois, whatever, and this driver is out in Maryland and he's trying to book a load, he's on the internet, that he emails them from a certain IP address, that will flag as fraud. And once you get them fraud reports or instances of fraud, it's hard to make them go away. So you could be the most legit carrier in the world, and you're going to have a hard time doing business. So uh, just know that. You gotta stand up to these people and explain yourself and say, hey, you know, I'm a carrier. Yeah, I may have a brokerage. I may have another address affiliated with this, but so do you. If you're Schneider, if you're JB Hunt, you have trucks, you have a brokerage. You saying you wouldn't book a load with yourself? Put it that way to them and say, I've been in business for X number of years. I have a clean 411. I have no fraud against me. I have no reports of anything. And you're doing this to me. This isn't right. And go right after highway. Call them people. I've called them. Of course, they have no idea what you're saying. Incidentally, everybody hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. I'd appreciate it. Helps get the video out to more people. Let me check up on some comments here quick. I'm getting way behind. Buck Brown House. Grade 8 Transportation. Good afternoon. Cents per mile. Would you say Matt's is a key bridge to success? Oh, with the bridge jokes right away. Yes. I couldn't sleep last night, so I went to the gym at like 2:30, and all of a sudden I'm on the treadmill. I look up, they got these 9 big screens there, and one of them's all Fox News. So it made the time on the treadmill go faster. I stood there and watched it for a long time. So yeah, that was crazy if you haven't seen the video. It's not just like one little piece of the bridge fell out. It's like the whole freaking bridge came down. Dang. Glad I wasn't on that because we're on that bridge sometimes. Mackinac Life says, tell us the Matt's good buddy stories. Oh, Trey Lincoln, good morning. Stanza Transport. Hello, DIY. How you doing, buddy? Is that a rotary phone on the shelf? Yes. Yes. Ooh. Got somebody calling me. They'll have to wait. I keep a rotary phone. Yeah, it's backup. It's old school. It's right next to the adding machine. CDN Freight Broker says, hey, Adam, I emailed you to connect you with Chris Jolly, a.k.a. the Freight Coast Spinning Wheel. Okay, we're back. Damn, there's good old Mackinac Life. How you been? I will always believe the Baltimore Bridge accident was either on purpose or sabotage. Nobody can be that incompetent. From what I understand, the bridge, the boat lost power, and they couldn't stop it, and they ran into a support. I don't know. Jersey Trucker. Ha ha ha, me? Yeah, little old you, Jersey Trucker. Little old you. I'm going to get you next year. You just wait. You just wait. Stanza Transport just watched another video on it. Looks like that freight boat had 2 power losses. Couldn't correct its course on time. Yeah, I believe it. That's why rates are so low. Competition isn't playing fair. Yeah. So, okay, so fraud, right? If this is going to embolden the fraudsters. Do you think they're stupid, FMCSA? Do you really think they're stupid? They're going to see that you took this half-hearted cathartic measure to do absolutely nothing. And they're just going to double down. There's going to be more fraudulent insurance certificates, more CDL schools that, pay to play, more everything, more double brokering, more brokering without authority, more, hit and runs, more bogus insurance. They're finding whole insurance companies. There's an insurance company out of California. They found the whole thing wasn't even legit, and they're giving out certificates. For crying out loud, it's gonna. I'm telling you, freight can turn around. Freight can pay better. It doesn't matter if it's going to be hard to do business. Like I'm telling you. So let's talk about that for a second. About getting hard to do business. So one thing I took away from this show. When I got home, I was sitting. I thought of this last night. I'm sitting on the couch, and Kelly said, my wife said, "What's the one thing you took away from the show this year? If you took one thing away," and it wasn't really one thing I saw. It wasn't really one person I talked to. It was everything as a whole. I thought about it, and I said, you know what? It's going to get hard for the small guy to do business. Everything is against you. If you don't adapt, if you keep doing business and trucking the same way it's been done for the last 50, 100 years, you're going to go the way of the dinosaur. You're going to get smoked. Because you walk through this truck show and there's all these emerging technologies, right? All of these things people are putting out there for use. They're not for us. They're for other people. And they're for other people to dictate to you. There's all these TMS system, algorithms, software this, software that, digital this, digital that. It's all for the people, the other people that we do business with, and the bigger carriers. It's not for us. We're going to be the ones that deal with the consequence of it, the small carriers. And some of this stuff, they're going to have us right where they want us. For instance, the brokers that are only click and go. Because I encounter a lot of people that will only do the click and go freight, right? Well, guess what? You think they don't know why you prefer that? And you think they don't know, haven't figured out, they pay millions and millions of dollars they have invested in this. You think they don't know and figured out how to manipulate the bid systems to get you to take the load for exactly what they want you to take it for? Certainly there's circumstances, last minute circumstances, whatever, as there isn't everything. But you think they don't have this all figured out, and that they know with these systems they have us right where they want us? They absolutely do. And it's with everything. It's with the OEM manufacturers. It's with the software people. It's with the brokers. It's with the OEM truck shops, the dealers. They are going to dictate to us because these technologies are for them, not necessarily for us. It's maybe not a great way to say it, but it's true. It's true. And it's being implemented all over the place. It's going to get hard for the small guy to do business unless you can adapt and say, okay, I have to change with it. I have to I don't want to say participate in it. I have to learn to, roll with the punches. I have to learn how to operate in this new environment. They, meaning brokers, shippers, receivers, manufacturers, shops, are getting so efficient. Efficiency is top 5 parts of their business plan. And here we are, carriers, especially a lot of small carriers, refuse to adapt and become more efficient. Some of us are obstinate about it. Like, no, I'm in control. I'm going to do it my way. Well, we're going to find out over the next 5 years or so who is. So adapt or die is what it's going to become. We will be taught some harsh lessons. Insult investor in the house. Cheap freight hauler. I think most speak English when it's convenient. Maybe this dude. I don't think this dude did. Like, I don't know. Insult. Aren't y'all glad you weren't on the Key Bridge? A few trucks went over right before it fell. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't there. When you finally get out of the trucking industry, you'll be so happy at the quality of life. No more FMCSA requirements to worry about. Yes. So so I'm standing at the FMCSA table. Kind of like, I'm confrontational, right? But I'm not disrespectful, and I try not to be rude. There's a balance there between confrontational and being an asshole, right? These people behind the booth didn't create any of this. It's their job to stand there and listen to us. So if I want them to hear me and listen to me, I got to not be a dick to them. And I found this guy later the next day and actually talked to him for a little while in a line for coffee. And I got his card. His name is Aaron. And we're going to be in regular touch. I tried to get on like an advisory board. I'm like, do you guys have like a public-private partnership where, you have an advisory panel of civilians to talk about new laws and the effects and implementation? He's like, no, that's us. He's like, we're all ex-drivers. Now we work for them. I'm like, yeah, but you've been out of the game for 5 years. You need somebody who's operated under this. He's like, yeah, send him an email, recommend it. I'm like, okay. So anyway, where was I going with that? Now I lost my train of thought. Where the hell was I going with that? I don't know. We'll come back to it. Getting out of it. Is it something to do with that? No. Shannon Thomas in the house. Good afternoon. Yeah, we hung out for the whole show. Shannon bought everything into place. She bought mattresses, pillows, chrome, everything. Triple bunk truck, 400,000 miles in 6 months. Yeah, maybe. You never know. Trucking life, it's a war on the American people. Yeah. Shannon says, thank you and Kelly and everyone so much for everything. I had a super blast with y'all. We had a good time too. I got to say, it wasn't a very productive truck show for me, but I had way more fun than last year. So, Jersey Trucker is partially responsible for that, but payback. I'm going to get him next year. Welcome back says, it makes me wonder if that driver is in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. If not, they will get him sooner or later. Or will they? Or will they? Since we're picking and choosing what regulations we actually give a damn about, do they actually, if they find out he's of a certain origin or whatever, will they not pursue that because that's discrimination, right? Jerome Jones says, and that's what I'm talking about. Inspections don't mean anything. They do to some people. Just depends. Just depends. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember now. Talking to the FMCSA, get confrontation, and not being loud, but I'm being animated. My wife's like, turn your name tag around. They don't need to see your name. Like your company name's on there, your name's on there. I'm like, I don't care. At a certain point, you got to stand up. My name's, right here. Here you go, Mr. FMCSA guy. Come at me. Clean as a whistle. We run a clean company. You couldn't get me an IRS audit. I am freaking on the penny with everything. And I believe our company is squeaky clean. I'm not going to sit there and be scared of them. If they're going to retaliate. At a certain point, it's like they're going to be dramatic. Whether they used to say under tyranny, you can live on your feet or die on your knees. What do you got to lose? Just go at them. If you're doing everything right, you run a clean company, you got the moral high ground. Why should you fear saying anything? Will they put you in jail and persecute you even when you're not wrong? They do it every day. There's plenty of innocent people in their system, but at a certain point, you got to start standing up for things. There is a way to do it, a way not to do it. Cheap Freight Hauler says, I didn't get an on-site audit in early 2020 before the shutdown. Yeah, so they stood there and they blamed COVID for the on-site audit thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, you weren't doing on-site audits before that. Cheap Freight Hauler is here, prime example. He did not get an on-site audit before the shutdown. So it was happening before the shutdown. It's happening now. It kind of irritated me. I was being on point with facts, and then they stand there and lie to my face. Maybe they weren't lying. Maybe they really believed that. Either way, I don't believe it to be true. Welcome back says, they say leave it alone because they don't want to do the job they get paid to. Industry has changed since I started in 97. I see what you're saying, that they're lazy. I think it goes a different way. I think it's an attack on, along with a lot of other things going on, and I don't get political on this channel. You guys have your own beliefs, I can have mine. But it seems to me, an attack on the American way of life. Like your way of life is going to change. It already has. You see the different things going on. And to say leave it alone is indicates to me of they're saying leave it alone because we want this to happen. This is by social design. So leave it alone. Like whatever. And when you have that attitude, what good is a whistleblower going to do? They admitted it publicly. They admitted it publicly to me. I don't think any kind of whistleblower is going to do anything. Stanza Transport Special Interest is paying off our Congress. I think it starts there. That's definitely one of the problems. Cash is King Trucking insurance rates are going to go through the roof. They absolutely are. And I'm nervous about that because I'm right in the middle of my renewal. I submitted my papers last week for a renewal. We have no accidents. We have no accidents that were our fault. My insurance company did not pay out anything. We've had several, just in the last 3 months, just in the beginning of the year, 3 trucks get hit. Last year, I probably had 5 trucks get hit. The same one seems to keep getting hit multiple times, that poor freaking guy. He literally just got it out of the body shop a week and a half from $14,000 worth of damage. This was a different guy. This was the guy that got hit the first 2 times this year. And somebody backed into him again. It's like he can't freaking win. Got his hood ripped off 3 different times in the truck stop, people pulling out. Insurance rates are going to go through the roof. Once again, that goes back to, I never finished my thought with him. And I told him, doing things the right way is expensive. You're going to drive all the good carriers out of business, and you're going to be left with this garbage. And he's like, I know. I'm like, well, then freaking do something about it. So then I took a different approach. And I asked the lady, I says, okay, you're standing here telling me you can't do anything about it. And they say, leave it alone. Nobody cares, whatever. Okay, then tell me what I can do about it. And she's like, don't even go there. And I'm like, no, I mean, like, I'm not going to do stupid stuff or crazy stuff. I'm like, tell me what you want to do. And if it's something that I or we can go do, we'll go do it. Because this has got to stop. And she's like, nope, ain't nothing you can do. She says, the only thing you can do is write letters or call, your state representatives, your FMCSA, participate in all the comment sessions they do on the new rules they pass. I'm like, they don't give a damn about that. No, they read every one of them. I'm like, you will never convince me that they read every one of them. No, they may read them out of formality. They don't care. So I don't know. At any rate, going back to, it's going to be hard for the small guy to do business. Unless you are committing fraud, it's going to be hard for you to do business. It's expensive to do things the right way. There's no incentive to do things the right way because the people that are committing fraud, doing things the other way, can have the same outcome as you can have. So that leaves us in quite a predicament. What do you do? Well, you still got to take that high ground and continue to do things the right way. At least, if you can't be part of the solution, at least don't be part of the problem. I'd like to believe that eventually, someday, somehow, some way, this will shake out. It probably won't. But going back to the highway thing and the fraud, well, this fraud gets exponentially worse because they've publicly stated they knew nothing about it. Your insurance rates are going to skyrocket. I talked to my insurance guy about my renewal. So what can I expect? He says you can expect a minimum of 12% increase because that's what that company is doing across the board for everybody. Possibly more. I said, well, I shouldn't get the possibly more part. We've had no claims. He said, well, risk categories. I said, what's causing this? He said, well, one, inflation. Parts are more expensive. Labor is more expensive. But he says, really, too, it's these ticky-tack accidents. It's the truck stop accidents. It's the accidents in parking lots. Because they're unskilled. They just hit you half the time they run. He says, every day we're getting 8, 9, 10. This is just my agent. This ain't the actual insurance company. 8, 9, 10 calls of, I got my hood ripped off. I got my bumper ripped off. I got backed into. He says, this stuff is rampant. And it's always a certain, these newer drivers, whatever you want to call it. He said, since COVID, we brought in a lot of new people into the industry. Things are culturally different. I guess we're in some places of the world where people come from, it's no big deal to rip somebody's hood off or damage somebody's truck. I guess you slap duct tape on it and away you go. Well, that don't fly here. So expect large insurance premium increases. And labor rates being what they are. You've seen shop rates over $200 an hour now. What the hell do you think is going to happen? So yeah, absolutely. And then everything associated with it. Cheap Freight Hauler says there is something they can do about it. There's nothing they will do. Well, yeah, absolutely. That's the quandary right there. They could fix this next week. Welcome Back says Illinois lets them have translators. Yeah, so to go along with that, I said, well, what about taking the CDL test? I said it's all supposed to be in English, and she said that's up to the individual states. I'm like, nah, it's kind of in the green book. And she's like, no, the testing is up to the states. So if they want to have the test in 17 different languages, they can. If they want to let them have an interpreter, they can. I'm like, that ain't right. That ain't right. Yeah, one of my drivers has duct tape on his truck now. He's the one that got hit the other day. Took out, that's probably I would say probably at least $10,000 of damage. He got the whole side of the cab from the top to all the way to the fairing, busted out that window. Needs a good bit of it's not, all caved in, but it's a lot of dings. It's going to take a lot to fix that whole side of the truck. Cassius King Trucking says, next time I get pulled over, I'm not speaking English. Why should you? Why should you? Nobody else apparently has to. And listen, somebody that's going to take this and make this about race or hate, it's not. It's public safety. If you got a guy running 80,000 pounds down the road, and he's coming off a mountain in Colorado at 70 miles an hour, and he can't understand the signs that say 6% downgrade next 5 miles, and then he can't understand the signs that say escape ramp ahead, trucks use ramp, whatever, and kills a bunch of people, does that matter what race he is? No, it matters that he couldn't read the sign. And on top of that, it's a certain amount of national security. Trucking is part. You go to Sage to figure this out. He talks about it all the time. Trucking is part of national security. Driving different places is culturally different. There needs to be training involved. I've been to Southeast Asia. You just drive wherever the hell you want to drive. There's no rhyme, reason, pattern. There's people going this way, driving on that side of the road, and they just wherever. It's a free-for-all. We can't have that here. We just can't have that here. So we have to find a way to fix this. Unfortunately, it's going to get exponentially worse. Adam Gilligan says it's not against the law to hate somebody. No, it's not. But, I mean, you shouldn't want to be like that. You shouldn't want to hate somebody just for who they are. I mean, I hate some people for what they do. Come on. Because there's people that do bad shit from everywhere. Stanza says, yeah, I see it. I don't know what that says. It says just learn that, but I don't know what it says. Calvin Leak Top Broke, come on, says what's going on. We're talking about the truck show and what we learned, who we met. AR fraud isn't an issue for me because I only haul with one big carrier. I haven't had any problems. Well, that's awesome. But here's the thing. That carrier is going to get defrauded. And that affects you. If that carrier gets defrauded if it's the big carrier, they get defrauded out of, say, whatever, $10 million a year. That's $10 million a year less they can use to give you a pay raise. Or whatever. See? So it's all a trickle down. It's all a trickle down. And I understand what you're saying. Chicken Holler says it's been a while since I've caught a live. Well, it's been a while since I've done a live. Freight Law says if Highway is not careful, they could face a class action suit from carriers that lost business due to improper reporting. People are keeping records. Be assured of that. And I'm one of them. I'm not threatening any kind of legal action, but I'll just tell you, I was asked to keep records on it, and I'm keeping records on it. I hadn't in the past, and I wish that I would have, but I hadn't. Cents per mile, they are approaching the fraud just like they do with gun control. Overgovern the legal people while criminals just keep doing whatever they want. They have lost their ever-loving mind. You are 100% right. You are 100% right. Trucking with T-Bone in the house. We met at Matt's. I do remember that. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Trucking with T-Bone has a channel, so check him out. I know I remember you, and I remember Charles. We met Charles. I don't know. Does Charles have a channel? I don't know. But anyway, Mr. Charles, nice to meet you too. I don't know if I got introduced to any of the other people in your group there. And then I met another dude that works with Shannon. Doggone it, I can't remember. And then there was a dude that met me at the Green APU booth, but it was loud in there. We talked, but I didn't catch his name because I couldn't differentiate. But anyway, Buck Brown in the house. T-Bone Toga. Hello, everybody. All right, stream is back. Good news. Yeah, I went Spinny Wheel Jones there for a second. Ed says, all on TV is thus Puff Daddy stuff. Did he or did he not do it? Oh, pun intended. Did he or did he not? I watched some stuff on that. Apparently, they've been building a case against that fella for years. And I got a feeling he's going to go bye-bye for a long time. Yes, sir. Tolga says, I just saw the collapse moments of the bridge via Euronews. There's no any official explanation about the reason, but multiple cars and at least one pickup truck buried under the bridge. I wish the patience. Okay. Yeah, a freight barge or a container ship hit a pillar support, apparently. Ezra Ginsberg says, I used to be friends with the CEO of small businesses and I took away nothing. You should have took it all. Come on. Like a good CEO. Snorlord in the house. Hello, buddy. Calvin Leaks says, because they can't do math or talk. Oh, okay. Johnny Walker says, what's going to happen when they do away with MC numbers? They are just going to use the DOT number, which that in and of itself, who cares? It's just a number, right? MC number. Your US DOT number will work for interstate transport, just like the MC number does. So that's really not a big deal. What is a big deal is the other stuff that they're doing with it, like taking away they call it the arbitrary waiting period. You know, that period where for public comment and where they're supposed to be vetting you. You know, that period where they're supposed to be vetting you to see if you had run 7 other carriers into the ground and killed 6 million people with traffic infringements and seeing if you were somehow an officer in another company that got shut down for poor safety. You know, since we're not doing that anymore, why have the waiting period? You know, an arbitrary waiting period. It's a joke. But you're going to get set up with an account where they have your phone number and email so that they can call you if they need to call you. Because the problem and what really causes all this fraud is people don't have an account, right? There's no account for these people so that, you know, we can get a hold of them. That's where the real problem lies. So once you fix that, everything's going to be, you know, everything's going to be suddenly magical. You're going to get, everybody who opens this account is going to get their own unicorn, and this unicorn is going to fart gold leaf. And then you can, you know, chrome out your truck in gold leaf. I guess it wouldn't be chrome then, would it? It would just be gold leaf. Insult Investor says, everything is getting worse. About to get exponentially worse. Oh my gosh, what is this name? DiCaprio More? DiCaprio More. How about that? We'll just call you Leonardo DiCaprio. What do you think to the story about P. Diddy running up in people? Well, I've heard a lot of stories about that, and I hope he gets if he did it, I hope he gets what's coming to him. Justin Jefferson says, nice blue eyes. Look, I'm on. How about that? You like that, do you? I'm a happily married man, I'll have you know. Thank you very much. I appreciate the comment nonetheless. Johnny Walker says, time to let the cat outside. No, yes, the cat needs, when I say cat, I mean dog. The dog needs a piece of beef jerky. There you go, cat dog. Ping Chess, you look a bit like Andrew Tate. You know, if I had a nickel for every time I've heard that, I'd have about a nickel. You know, I'm like Andrew Tate minus the millions of dollars and you know, a life full of success and the 17 Bugattis and all the money in houses. Other than that, I'm exactly like Andrew Tate, and I don't live in Romania. How about that? Heroes of the Road says, greetings from Fairbanks. Oh, man, I bet it's cold there. Yesterday, we got 6 inches of snow and cold and windy, and today it is 52 degrees and raining outside. Cheap Freight Hauler says, Chrome don't get you home. Come on. No, but what does get you home? I don't even know. Click your heels 3 times. The Milkman in the house. What would you say is something that we need to adapt to as a small carrier that will help us stay in business for the next 5 years? Oh, good question. And I have the answer, and it's going to piss everybody off, but think about it and work on it. So we have freight is slow, obviously, right? Volumes are down, rates are down, and there are still people that all they can do is sit around and blame brokers. Now, are there some brokers, screwing us? Sure, there always has been, there always will be. But, it's funny, nobody cares until times are tough, right? Stop doing that. When things get tough for you, don't sit around and look for the first person to blame. Learn the industry as a whole. Get involved in different parts of the industry. Educate yourself in business. Change your mindset. You know what? If I had one wish right now, let's get rid of the term owner-operator. Okay? Because it's trying to put you in a category that doesn't do you a whole lot of good. If you're one truck guy with your own authority, you're not an owner-operator anyway. You're a carrier. Start calling yourself that. Start thinking like a carrier. This may sound stupid, but it's going to change the way you think. You're going to start thinking more of a business. Okay, if I'm a carrier and it's my job to grow this carrier, I'm going to get some of my own freight. I may be hiring some people. Okay, suddenly I'm responsible for 10 other people, not only them, but their families. So that's going to affect the business decisions that I make. Put your thoughts down that path. Take yourself down that line of thinking rather than, everything sucks, damn brokers. What the hell good does that do you? Right? Learn to operate. Don't let them dictate to you what things are going to be. With these click and goes, that's exactly what they are. Now, there's no harm in using a brokerage that has a click and go. You can call them, you can email them. They know exactly what they're doing with the click and go. They're dictating to you. They have it set up to get you to haul it for exactly what they want. Start participating in what's going on, right? By that I mean start learning the newer technology. I'm not saying you got to use them. Learn the new technologies, learn how they work, so you can at least speak the lingo and intelligently, and show that you're not going to be a pawn in the game. Show that you're an intelligent business person. Show that you know what you're doing. Show that you can be efficient. That it's your goal to run a successful, efficient business. Not just to be the prettiest, not just to be the fastest. That's going away. As much as people try to hold on to it, because everybody else we deal with, brokers, shippers, receivers, everybody, one of their top 5 goals is efficiency. And if we don't, we're not going to be here. Some of us will be here. So get ahead of the curve. Start to do it now. Because as much as we may think, or we may not have autonomous trucks on the horizon, it could take 50 years. Guess what? Autonomy in it of itself, and AI is being used all around you. Just because it's not an autonomous truck going down the road doesn't mean they're not using AI in the software that they're using for dispatch, freight bidding, everything else around you. So it's there. It's in the industry. Learn about it. Learn about all these things. You have to adapt, right? Back in farming, when I was a dairy farmer, back in the 80s, the government came out with an initiative, get big or get out, which means you expand, you grow big and into a big farmer, or get out because you're not going to make it. We're going to force you out. That's happening in trucking right now. I'm not saying you got to get big, but you have to change your mindset. You as a one truck guy need to start having the same mindset as the guy that runs Landstar, the guy that runs Schneider, the guy that runs wherever, even maybe the guy that runs 10 or 20 trucks in your town, right? Because their mindset is on a whole different trajectory than yours is. And besides, those things will improve your business and take you there anyway. Even if you're not going to be successful with all of it, it's not all going to work out for you. but you're going to see things a different way. My daily thoughts and my daily, goals and activities are so much different than they were 5 years ago because I'm exposed to things that I wasn't then, just because of the different position that I'm in now. Good, bad, and otherwise. It's reality. Expose yourself to these different things. Right? So maybe, you know what? I'm not saying you got to go be a broker. Like, people need to have such a misconception. You can freaking getting crucify me for this. People have such a misconception of what freight brokering is. If it's so easy and people are screwing you so hard, go start your own freight brokerage and do it for yourself. You're going to find out a lot that you can't, but some of you can, and some of you will, and some of you will be successful. You're going to be, if you learn all these things, you're going to be so well-rounded that nobody can get one over on you. People will get one over on me from time to time, but not very often anymore, because I've learned all the different sides of this industry, and I don't like it all. Cheap Freight Hauler says, DIY, to make it worse, I had a fatal accident between starting my company and getting my new entry audit. Still no on-site. Wow. It's crazy. You would think if anything was going to trigger an on-site audit, that would be it. Calvin Leake says he making more money on claims than freight. Who is? Where are you from? I'm from the good old US of A. Welcome back says, now is a great time to get out of the trucking industry. If you have other skills, use them. So talking about now is a great time to get out. You got to have half a damn screw loose in your head to go get a new authority right now. I'm telling you, man. And people are here's another reason it's going to get hard to do business as a small carrier. People are still piling into this nonsense. February, we had a net gain, as far as I know, in new authorities. So you tell me who's doing that. Who's doing that? Is it the 10,000 refugees a month we're bringing in? Because what are they going to do other than this? Especially if they don't, there's a whole lot of things they apparently don't have to learn if they're just going to start a trucking company and do this. And then, are they going to operate at our level where everything's legit with insurance and all that? So freight would have to get significantly better with people still coming into the industry at a rapid pace before there would be enough freight, to cover all the excess capacity. Jacksonville Kid says, I'm a Peterbilt trucker. Glad to meet you. The Animal says, the brokers who load them know what's going on. They load them because they're cheap. Yes. So I also brought this up to the FMCSA. In addition to carriers not having on-site audits, I said, you're not even auditing brokers on-site or off-site. I never had a new entrant audit for my brokerage. I've never had any kind of inquiry at any level. So there's other things to audit in a brokerage other than just, are they paying whatever people deem to be fair rates or broker transparency? There's coercion. There's, fiduciary things where are they? It's kind of a weird thing. Brokers should have fiduciary responsibility, and they really don't. But are they scamming people's money? There's safety. We learned from the C.H. Robinson lawsuit. Was it 3 years ago? The $1 billion lawsuit. That brokers are also responsible for safety. Are they loads getting scheduled in a fashion where they're practical? Are they penalizing you for not subjecting yourself to coercion? So there's all kinds of things. Are they hauling hazmat without hazmat authority? What's all going on here? So they're not getting audited either. And well, you could go on and on about that. Do they in fact have the domestic presence that they claim that they have? So you can't set up an authority without a U.S. address. How many times have they busted out in California? What was it, Gardena, where like 100 different companies are operating out of this one, mailboxes, etc. mailbox? And their actual email address was, I think it was FMCSA at gmail.com. How long did it take before they caught on to that? So it's like, what are you doing? You know, are you auditing them to see if they are actually a U.S. based business? Do they actually even have that U.S. address? Not even doing that. So, Jersey Trucker says insurance requirements go up to 1.5 million in New Jersey in June. Oof, dang it. Yeah, and we haven't even addressed that issue yet with rates going up. There's likely to be increased requirements for insurance. Heroes of the Road says labor rates can be negotiable, but they will not budge from the markup on parts. Yeah, and then you got what? Shop supplies, environmental fees, technology fees. I just had a reefer unit service, and they tried to hit me with like $112 in shop supplies. What the hell did you use in a reefer unit that was $112? You didn't use nothing. Get the hell out of here. Anybody have extra hours they're not going to use this week? Cheap freight haulers already running that scam. A little scammy. Jacksonville Kid says duct tape the tape used for everything but ductwork. Yes. I like to use it in duck hunting myself. Buck Brown says I'm running on recap myself. Cheap freight hauler. Should we expect more hotel reviews from your driver that got hit last week? No, the truck is fully functional. It's functional. I don't know if he's done any videos on it, so I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to steal his thunder, if you will. I could have done a hotel review channel this week. I like 3 different hotels this week. It's pretty awesome. Della Vega, do you think Biden has helped in the trucking industry, or Trump will help more after the elections? Yeah. You're trying to take me down the road of politics. I will say nothing will get better in trucking until something is done about the economy. How about that? Is that close enough? Did I dodge your question sufficiently there? Jacksonville Kid, thoughts on driverless trucks? Someday, some way, somehow, they'll do it. I mean, if it takes them another 50 or 100 years, they want it to happen. I am 100% against it. I think it's dangerous. I think it's stupid. Nobody asked what I think. They put billions of dollars into this, and they're putting billions of dollars into the infrastructure to make it happen. They will at least try it. I mean, there's already trucks running routes autonomously in the country, in the South. So, they don't put billions of dollars into something they don't intend to go full force with, whether we like it or not. They don't really ask us. That sounds like Andy Rooney. Did anybody ever ask you if you wanted autonomous trucks? No. Oh, we're going to have a whole... You young people don't even probably know who Andy Rooney is. I got to work on my Andy Rooney, and we're going to do a whole show on Andy Rooney. You ever wonder why there's trucks going down the road and no drivers in them? Me too. How's that? Animal would know who Andy Rooney is. Did I do a good one? This Trucking Life says exactly. Welcome back. I don't understand how the states make their own rules when this is a federally mandated license. Sounds like a circus. Yeah, it's. I think it's whatever's convenient for them, right? It's like, we're going to give the states the right to do this, but we're not going to let them take away all their other, we're going to take away all their other so-called rights they do, whatever. It's a bunch of crap. 17th Amendment, folks. Jacksonville Kid, driverless drivers don't have to speak English. True that. Heroes of the Road says, is it me, or has the trash on the side of the roads increased since the pandemic? Seems to me it has. It has. And I'm just going to say, that could possibly be another one of those things that's culturally different. Cultures are different around the world. Funny how everybody wants to escape where they're at, but then when they come here, they want to turn it into right where they came from. I'll never understand that. There you go. Tolga dropped a link to T-Bone's channel. My dog needs an excessive amount of beef jerky today. There you go, puppy. DB15, 215 checking in. Howdy, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. We haven't talked in a while. We'll have to get together. CK the Ambassador, is that the top rope who almost got into a fight at the truck show Saturday? Calvin, were you at the truck show? Man, I wish I'd have known if you were at the truck show. I'd have loved to meet you. If you ever come, let me know. I'm planning to go every year. Nah, there was some. I heard there was some stupid scuffle. I don't have no idea. You know what? I don't want to know anything about that. I don't care. Not my problem. I'm there. I'm there on business. We're trying to do some business. Everybody saying hi to DB215. Mr. Charles, there he is. It's not worth the mention of my channel. Haven't done anything with it for years. It is outdated. Well, go ahead and put the link anyway if you want to. You seem like a pleasant guy. Yeah, I was on a mission to get some things done, and I didn't spend too much time in any one particular place. Which is do this thing, on to the next thing. So, and I didn't even come close to doing anything I wanted to do, which is fine because you know what? I can honestly say for the first time in about 3 years, I had fun doing something, and I had all the drivers were pretty much taken care of, and I was able for the first time in about 3 years to shut that part off in my mind, except for what I had to do, and just forget about it and do something else, which would be truck show, right? More trucks. Yeah, it's a sickness, people. It's a sickness. But yeah, I had fun, and I can thank partially for having fun for the Jersey Trucker, even though I'm going to get him back next year. Here's the road. The barge lost power, later regained, but couldn't move fast enough. Singapore owned, they say. Ooh, somebody's getting caned when they get home. Somebody's probably going to catch a cane. Maybe you can start over. Who knows, Mr. Charles? There you go. Kian says, bro, are you looking at me over a stack of pancakes? Where's my stack of pancakes? I ain't got no stack of pancakes. I originally wanted to expand my business in the future, but now I've been having second thoughts with everything going on. Well, use that time to make plans then. There's other things you can do while you're waiting. Save up money. Money takes risk out of things. Slice of Life, channel member in the house, says they'll probably force all, or no, not channel member, moderator. They'll probably force all payments to go through that account so they can track us better that way. Keep screaming for transparency. You might get something like that. Just saying. Anybody, you've all heard of the law of unintended consequences? Think long and hard about that. Be careful what you ask for. Careful what you ask for. Slice of Life says, or better yet, they'll force all tendered loads to go through that account so they can track where we run and when. Now you're getting somewhere. Now you're getting somewhere. See? Slice of Life knows about the law of unintended consequences. Freight Law says, one way that small carriers can help change the industry is to work with law firms that will bring class action cases to address fraud, broker payment refusals, ELD frauds, etc. Yes. But here's the thing. These people are slick. And how are you going to sue somebody from Pakistan? See what I'm saying? That's part of the problem. Is there's no accountability. What can you do? Like literally, I'm not poo-pooing your idea. You take a company, say, I don't know, say that I'll just pick somewhere in the world, Belgrade, Serbia. Okay, say random city, Belgrade, Serbia. Say a company out of Belgrade, Serbia that's resetting people's logbooks and skimming rate cons, doing all kinds of this and that's. What are you going to do to them? You bring up charges, they skirt right back to Belgrade, Serbia, and Bob's your uncle, they're gone. Or they got 17 other MCs and 19 other corporations. And see, these people move faster than the FMCSA or a lawyer. You could work for years on trying to catch these people, and by the time you catch them, the damage is, there's no undoing it. And they've hidden the money, they've pilfered it off. It's just, yeah. But you're right. I mean, that's one thing, a guy can do. AR says, also, I've seen you've lost some weight. How did you get the motivation to do so? started looking around me and said, you know what? There's not a lot of people that are 75 years old that weigh 350 pounds. You better start doing something about it. And stress will take it right off you. Keeping it, keep losing it's one thing. Keeping it off is the hard part, and that takes a lot. And I need to work harder. One thing some people said, I heard it 3 different times at the truck stores. Oh, you're taller than I thought you would be. I'm like, well, how tall do you think I am? Or how short do you think I am? I thought that about a few people too. I'm like, oh, you're way taller in person than I thought you'd be, but never thought that about myself. Mr. Charles says it was nice to meet you at Matt's DIY. Yeah, you too. You too. Would like to talk to you guys more. Kind of 2.5. Well, get there Thursday afternoon, so full day Friday. It turns out to be about 2 full days to do all that. It just isn't quite enough. But yet at the same time, a whole week people would just fall out. So there's that fine line of how long is long enough. But then, 2.5 days is too short. I don't know. I guess you guys got to get on it. I need one of those 3-wheeled scooters that people were riding around. It's like a motor around there. Cents per mile says, I'm going to get an MC for every logbook in this truck if that's how they're going to run it. There you go. But be careful how you set those MCs up, because if they tie one to that MC, a highway going to get you. Highway going to get you. And it don't matter if you use a separate address, if you use a separate phone number, if you use a separate email, if you use a separate bank account, credit card, everything. Highway going to find you because they link your names and your IP addresses, allegedly, and a whole bunch of other things. So highway going to get you. What else we got here? Buck Brown says, awesome idea, cents per mile. Yeah. Next year, we're going to drag cents per mile down there. Yep. We're going to get them down there. Cheap Freight Hauler says, too many truck drivers owning businesses and not enough business owners driving trucks. There you go. There you go. Take off my hat, please. This beautiful Mack Trucks piece of artwork. You want me to take that off? I think not. Will they give you back your $300 that you used to start your MC? Ooh, Lee George, how dare you? How dare you ask that question? Could you imagine if you just started your MC number the day before they changed that rule and you pissed away $300 on an MC number? D Main says, give your life to Jesus Christ and you will be saved, my friend. Well, will do. Calvin Leak Top Rope. Yep, there are a few click and go apps that only have a $150 bid window and they know the drivers will fold. Yeah, and like the JB Hunt app. I'm no idea if they do this, but it shows you what other people have bid. Well, how do you know if those bids are legit? They could have put those bids there, and they likely have. Squiggly line, PAK says, how do you feel about Russians? White Russians? A little bit of vodka, a little bit of milk. Isn't that what's in a White Russian? Love me a White Russian. No, just kidding. I don't care about Russians. Don't care a bit. I had a guy tell me something interesting. I used to train drivers years ago, and I got this guy that was from Russia. And he come over here. I don't know how he ended up here, whatever. But we got to talk, and I'm like, you're a pretty cool guy. What's up with that? He's like, when I was a kid, some of you may remember this. Remember all the TV commercials? They were trying to teach us propaganda that all Russian women were big and ugly. Remember that Wendy's commercial? And remember how, Russians were monsters that were going to nuke us, and you had to get under your desk in school because the Russians were going to bomb us, and then all that kind of stuff. During the Cold War. And I was talking to him about that. He's like, you know what? He says, we were told the same thing about you guys. That, you would eat our children and this and that. And I'm like, well, maybe we're really not that different. Maybe our governments are just douches. So, I don't know. I got no issue. Trucking with MC in the house. How you doing, buddy? Life is looking up for Trucking with MC, apparently. Calvin Leak says, not you, MC, the Russian guy. There you go. Tolga says, a Bulgarian named person asking about the Russians in an American trucking channel, middle of the business conversation. Excellent mix. There you go. DB215 says, they are still jumping in with both feet. Yeah. Cheap Freight Hauler says, anybody want to buy a T680 in great shape, thinking of buying a day cab Mac? A what? What you doing that for? The Milkman, $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm on the YouTube app today, so I don't know how to. I don't think it lets you put stuff up on the screen. And I did not monetize this one, so no commercials in the middle of the live stream here. Milkman says 10-4 on that. Appreciate the advice. Well, I appreciate you. Gary Bates in the house. Thumbs up, poop emojis. About time, Gary. Where you been? You're late. Ant Dog says oil up in your truck. Okay. LC says hi. I love your video. Well, thank you. Buck, there you go. Buck Brown misses Andy Rooney. I miss Andy Rooney, man. He was a blast. I miss Andy on 60 Minutes. Yep. Diana Pennington says economy, economist, economy. It's not that freight moves 24/7, 365 in this country. It's merely these third-party brokers taking all the money. Things will never get better until something is. That's what I'm talking about right there. Diana, do you know for a fact? Documented proof. You don't know that to be true. Do you really think shippers are paying $10 a mile right now? If I'm here as a carrier and I'm willing to pull that freight for $2.50 a mile, I'm throwing random numbers out there. Why in the hell are they going to pay a broker $6-7 a mile? That's just. I'm not mad at you, but it's just not true. It's just not the circumstance right now. And the truth, it's not fun to be a broker right now. You're getting squeezed. Obviously the trucks are getting squeezed harder. They have greater expenses. I get that. And I'm not standing up for brokers. I'm trying to tell you the truth. Diana, if the brokers are squeezing you that hard, then why are you using the brokers? Put the energy in being mad at them. Put that into going and getting your own freight. You have to change this mindset of the brokers are the enemy. There's good brokers out there. Find them and learn to work with them. That's one of the things that you're going to have to change, Diana, if you want to be around in 10 years. And I'm not mad. I care about you. Like, enough to tell you the truth and hurt your feelings. I hope you can appreciate that. The animal says, spot on, need more eyebrow. Yeah, Andy Rooney had these big caterpillar monstrous eyebrows. They were cool. Calvin Leak says, I was close. No blows were thrown. They pulled my fifth wheel. Well, dang it. Calvin, I didn't know you were there. I'd like to meet you. You're the one of the guys I'd like to meet. So next year, if you're going, hit me up. Email me. Whatever. DB215 has my number. Get it from him. Or whatever. Did you find who pulled your fifth wheel? Did you find that damn dirty animal? Mark Ukraine says, how do you feel about Ukraine? Our government says we're supposed to like Ukraine and support them. I could give a damn. Like, I'm tired of paying for it, to tell you the truth. I'm tired of giving all my money to them. So that's how I feel. Ain't nothing against the people. I'm tired of what's going on, and I'm tired of paying for it. That's it. That's it. That'll probably get me kicked off YouTube. Calvin says, I was checking around my truck and saw it, and my lines were switched. Damn it, boy. Shazad says, can you change insurance requirement on FMCSA? I mean, if you're a lawmaker, you could change the requirement. Other than that, I don't know how you're going to do that. Freight Law says, excellent point, Adam, about lawyers going after Serbian brokers or illegal carriers. But sometimes the government gets involved when lawyers, plaintiffs get on the news busting fraud and corruption. Yep, you're right. You're right. It can be a slow process. We can be done by some brave plaintiffs and coordinated law firms. The thing is, it's a bitch to be that brave plaintiff. you're gonna take a big L for other people that won't appreciate it. I'll tell you that. Cheap Freight Hauler says that Mac LTT fuel trailer at Matt's looks great. I didn't see that one. Bravo Zulu says I'm in La Crosse. It's snowing here, 35 degrees. It is 50 degrees, Bravo Zulu. You probably know where I'm at, about the area. Marty saying more, how many more fuel cards until you're at 1,000? A ways. I think we're at, like, cards themselves, probably 250. Yeah, we got a long ways to go. I haven't been exactly doing the best job of promoting that. I kind of feel like the last thing people want to hear every time they tune in is a commercial. But hey, a good commercial never hurt anybody. Once in a while, sometimes, right? Here, let me post a link. Copy. Oh, I can't do that. I'm in the wrong account. Sorry. Oh well. Hit up DIYsemi.com and you'll find all the information on there about the fuel card, where we pass along all the discounts to y'all. Cents per mile says trucking with MC gonna have to change his name to trucking with DOT. Oh. Greg Campbell in the house. Thanks for coming in. Marty saying more. Used truck prices $10K and under. Yeah, trucks are about worthless right now, aren't they? Man, they're way closer to zero than they were, a year ago this time. But they could still go down more. They definitely could. What's my favorite color? Purple. Purple. Tolga, I just saw a brand new truck by Volvo for $360,000. The difference is crazy. Marty saying more. I tell you what. Well, 360,000. Let's do some quick math. Divided by. I'll buy 7 $50,000 trucks. Drive one and let 6 sit for when I need them, or if I blow the engine in a different one before I'll pay $360K on a brand new Volvo. That is crazy. Calvin says yes. He basically gave himself away. I made a video about the encounter. Okay, I'll have to go see that. Why are farm commodities so low if they're not making any goods in Ukraine? The economy itself is crap. I mean, the bottom line, what it all comes down to. What do you think about JB Hunt because it is stopping to work with most carriers for no legitimate reason? We don't know if it's what the reason is. It could be for a legitimate reason. Maybe they see them as fraudulent. They have the right to make their own rules. I know they did up their standard on new authorities. If you'd have to have a screw loose to start a new authority right now, especially if you're planning to work in the spot market. Hardly anybody's going to work with you. Even the places that would work with you 6 months to a year ago have gone to 6 months, 90 days, 1 year before they'll work with you. Okay, there you go. Dirty Broke dropped the link to Calvin's video. I'm going to have to check that out later. Sterling Wheel says, is it true that Shannon has a monkey driving her truck? She has a dog in there that could easily be mistaken as a monkey, the way it, with the noises that it makes. I'm not sure if that dog can drive or not. Not fully sure of that. Cheap Freight Hauler says, can't post clickable links in a vertical live. I'll be darned. I did not know about. See, you guys know more about YouTube than I do. Dirty Broke says, I don't like this vertical. Okay. Somebody told me to try it because YouTube likes it. I like to make my digital overlord happy. Maybe they'll pay me. Two Skate says, I love your videos. Well, thank you. I love them too. Now we just got to convince everybody else to love them. If you love them so much, hit that like button. Appreciate that. Anthology says, hello from New Jersey. Hello, Anthology. Easter is coming up. Does Andy think the market will jump? You ever notice around holiday times how the freight market likes to jump all over the place? Well, maybe so not much not this year. With load volumes being down and way more trucks in the market, do they really have to increase freight rates to get their holiday freight moved? Just saying. You ever noticed that we've probably already hauled all the Easter holiday freight? You ever notice that now during the holidays, everybody just kind of shuts down and doesn't ship anything? Makes you kind of wonder, doesn't it? Back in my day, freight rates used to go crazy around the holiday. DIY. Oh, that's my new character, DIY Rooney. Cash is going to love this one. We're going to have to wait till we get on live with Cash and bust out the DIY Rooney. I got to find myself some eyebrows. Let me check the emails here quick. Nothing important. Back to the DIY Rooney. Come on. Adrian in house. Hi, thank you. JB and Swift are 1 year now. Others have bumped up their requirements. Boy, I tell you what, if TQL bumps up their requirements, a whole lot of people are in trouble. But they have bumped it up to you got to have an inspection now. So you might have your 6 months in. If you ain't got an inspection, a lot of brokerages ain't going to want you. Now it's all about the inspection. Tolga says, click the 3 dots at the top right corner and you will see the like button out there, folks. Ooh, thank you, Tolga. We were upwards of 90 people in the house of 52 likes. Whew. It's not a ratio I feel good about. Everybody, come on, make me feel good. Anthology says, if I donate, would you do crazy things? Ooh, I would do something as crazy as take a drink out of this big old water bottle. What kind of crazy things are we talking about? DB215 got to go to a safety meeting. We'll catch you later, brother. We got to talk sometime. Sterling Wheel says, anyone getting their authority right now? I got a bridge to sell you. Slightly used. Oh, back with the bridge jokes. Let's do this. Golf clap to the best bridge joke. Anybody? Let them fly. What do they say? Tragedy plus time equals comedy. But they didn't really say how much time has to pass. I don't know. Did anybody get hurt? That's what I got to know before we do this. I can't be seen as insensitive. If nobody got hurt, then, game on. But if people got hurt, I think it's appropriate we wait a little bit longer. Cheap Freight Hauler, only reason I knew is because I can go live now, but I'm restricted to mobile. And only subs plus 25? What does that mean? Master Noah Skull says, hi, I'm new and will subscribe to you, and I hope you become famous. Love you. Oh, we already famous. We truck show famous. How about it? If you want to just find out how not famous you are, go to the truck show and watch, like other YouTubes on these panels and doing interviews and stuff, and you stand there like, nobody knows who I am and nobody likes me. But I'm just kidding. My wife's like, oh, people are going to walk up to you. I'm like, nobody freaking knows who I am. A couple people, Mr. Ayers said hi. And then there's this mechanic with a mobile service up there by Syracuse. Nappy's Diesel. He said hi. So that was cool. That was awesome. People are always, mostly they've been so nice. Jackknife TV in the house. And I can see you. How can I see you? See, you're not blocked. Sterling. Me. Tolga says, yep, he's always saying thanks a lot. Just imagine a person thanking to people in our era. How crazy, right? There you go. Paul Mullery says, can you say happy birthday to Paul? No one ever does on my birthday. Oh, Paul, happy birthday. I'd sing to you, but nobody, I want my channel taken down. You heard about the bridge in Baltimore? A cargo ship hit it? Yep. TQL will do you. Ooh. Say it's true. I've always wanted to be done by TQL. Bravo Zulu says duct tape is Wisconsin chrome. You got that right. Calvin Leake says they're throwing all kinds of curveballs on requirements now. Yeah, I actually had somebody, and I don't mind doing it because, hey, it keeps us out of the fraud. I don't want fraud any more than they want fraud. oftentimes you'll send a picture of your truck and whatever to prove that it's your truck picking the load up. But he actually wanted the driver standing beside the truck, giving the thumbs up, not any other finger. It had to be the thumbs up, so he knew it was like current. So, but that's all right. I don't mind doing that. English Aviator says, "Hey." Dari says, "Why won't you be a company driver no mo?" I'm not above being a company driver no mo. Just at this particular time, this is what I'm doing. I long for the day when we're done here trucking. I want to retire. I'd like to retire before I die. English Aviator says, "I subbed." Well, thank you. Capital D, no Diddy. Or Diddy. Yeah, Diddy's all the rage today. Reed says, "Good evening, DIY." Hey, Reed, how you doing? Dari says, "Are you a company driver?" I am not. Some would say I'm not even a driver anymore. We're working on building a trucking company here, building a fleet. I still drive, not full time. When the need arises. Sometimes things just got to be done. Bitcoin trucker says 29 people missing. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's too soon to joke about. Hopefully they come up well. I wouldn't want to fall in that water, man. It's got to be cold. The thing funny about inspections is I have no inspections in the last 2 years. My buddy has 2, and both was out of service. So he has 100% out of service rate and can haul for brokers that I can't. Yeah, that is stupid. But really what they're looking for with inspections is that you actually have equipment. You can't fake an equipment inspection. You can fake an MCS 150. You can fake insurance. But you cannot fake a DOT inspection where a piece of equipment was inspected. So that's what they're looking for, that you actually do have assets. And then too, with the inspection, they can see your VIN number, compare it to your insurance, and make sure that VIN number is actually on your insurance policy. It's another thing that they can do. Tolga says, back in the 70s or 80s, a guy sold the Bosphorus to multiple people. People were thinking the toll's money going to be theirs. He was saying that was scamming whoever, being the actual scammers in their minds. Buck Brown says, "I'm famous. My alter ego as the Diesel Deacon." Hey, come on. Jackknife TV says, "Wow, about time I do exist." Yeah, on someone else's channel. IA Truckin says, "Who has time to go to Matt's with the way the market is? I can't even afford to go home." I really didn't want to spend the money on it this year either, but I'll tell you the truth, I don't do anything else. Just work and do stuff here. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. We haven't taken a vacation since 2007. Actually, I lied. Last year's Matt's was our vacation. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going. Sometimes you just got to get your mind right. And, you can learn things there that can make you more money. So, Jackknife TV says, "Man, after I got done talking to about 30 brokerages, including the big ones, I was like, F this. I gave up. Between being shut out of the spot market and the $22,000 insurance, too risky." Yeah. Just Stoken, have you added more truck stops? Thank you. I have. I sent out an email yesterday. We've added quite a few since we initially started. And I have more coming in the pipeline here. There's 3 more that are getting added as we speak. It takes about a month from the time you make the agreement until it's all set up in the app and in the pricing and blah, blah, blah before we put the announcement out. But, and then I personally just made a deal. It was just about 3 weeks ago. It's my first time doing it all on my own, so that process is taking me longer of getting them added in. So, yeah, we've added quite a few. And I just talked to Ambest at Matt's about 2 more stops in South Dakota. Trying to get them to look into adding. It's a long process. It can take a long time to get them added. But yeah. Maria Angelis says, "Happy birthday, Paul." Everybody say happy birthday to Paul. Nobody ever tells him happy birthday on his birthday. Legionnaire says, "Don't spread hate, guys." We're not trying to spread hate. We're just talking. Jackknife says, at Iowa Truckin' Man, you ain't lying there. I could have maybe pulled it off stopping by Matt's, but between the last 2 weeks, I just had ... Ekim Canada says, today's my birthday also. Well, happy birthday to you. This is the birthday show, apparently. If I had Sterling's soundboard, I would do big happy birthday sound effects, but I do not. You sound like me. Your time off is spent looking at truck stuff. Yeah, pretty much. Tomorrow I have that dude coming back to my house with that big grinder on the skid steer. We're gonna clear some more land. We're making a food plot back in the woods for hunting and recreating and whatnot. Calvin Leak said they said 2 people were saved and at least 6 are missing from the bridge. Okay, well that's better than 29. Sterling Wheel, the 420 super chat. People got hurt, unfortunately. I'll save the jokes. Yeah, good idea. I'll give that a thumbs up. We'll save that for later. Jackknife TV says, even checking the VIN, they're with the insurance policy. The brokers just simply don't want to do the extra legwork. Yes. And that goes back to highway. You know, if they're reporting bad information, they're not doing the legwork to see if it is bad information or not. Anthology says, just an example, maybe $5 to read your last text message, or maybe $5 for your screen report. Or we can take it big, talk to a stranger for $20 and pick your nose for an unreasonable amount of time and see. You so crazy. I'll talk to a stranger for $20. I talk to strangers all the time. There ain't no strangers in my house though right now. So better not be. Jackknife TV says a lot of brokers are only accepting like blanket insurance policies where every piece of equipment is covered, no matter what. Yeah. Yep. And once you get a certain number of pieces of equipment, they'll put on your certificates that it'll cover every piece of equipment in your fleet. So, yeah. Airwolf, you know anything about DEF? I know every company that makes it, they make it the same ingredients. Blue Def says they put something extra in it to keep your filter clean. Yeah, I don't know about that. DEF is real touchy. You're not supposed to put anything in it. So I don't know if they do such a thing or not, to tell you the truth. There's only so many makers of DEF. So if Blue Def is doing that, they probably are putting it in themselves at packaging. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't be the person to answer that, to tell you the truth. Soul Baby says, can you say, hi, Kevin Gonzalez? I believe I just did. There is a QT going up in Dayton, Ohio. Boy, QT, Sheets. There are definitely some market disruptors coming into this market. I tell you what. Jackknife TV says trucks and old tractors. Yep. You got to do oil changes on them 18-wheelers. Yes. Some people do them about 15,000 miles. Some people do them 20, 25, 30, 50. Some people stretch them all the way out to 100,000 miles with bypass oil filtration. Some people go longer. Calvin says, I had Transloop say my truck had no inspections. I have more than any other truck I got on. Interesting. Maybe they're looking at the wrong Safer site, the wrong company in Safer. Sterling Wheel says DIY is a company enthusiast. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Jackknife TV says, hey, you got that big whiteboard behind you there, DIY. Why don't you draw us some examples of, I don't know, trucking and stuff? Because my cord don't reach. Here's my cord. It ain't long enough to get all the way over there. I like this headset here. It's a, what is it, Logic? I don't know. It's a really good one. It's a gamer headset. So I started using this one with the cord because it's badass. Is the oil change DIY? Some of us do. It can make you quite a mess. Check engine light is not on. Better pop the hood. Okay. Hi, I have more than 2 years no inspection, and some brokers I hold before they not giving me loads. Yeah, some care, some don't. But it's just another thing they can use against you right now. And you can thank the fraudsters for that. Thank the fraudsters for, you know, that extra scrutiny. Jackknife TV says, I only do it oil change when I can afford it. So I guess that'll be when the low oil pressure light comes on. Well, you could just throw new filters on it, get that oil pressure back up. You know, just saying. TD says, a real men do. There you go. Two Piece Production says, Israel or Palestine? What about them? What about them? You ain't gonna get me. Cheap Freight Hauler says, I change my own oil. Yes. Josh in the house says, what's up, bro? Paul Jersey Trucker, that dirty devil, says, happy birthday, Paul. There we go. Tolga says, probably a Logitech. They have been pretty good and affordable brand for all since years. Yes, it is a Logitech. It is certainly a Logitech. Well, we are, I went for an hour and 45 minutes. Oh, let's just say whoever else I met at the truck store. I ran into, talked about T-Bone, said hi to Just Truckin'. Oh, I ran into Truckin' and Fixin' with Ryan, which I was actually excited about. I like that dude. If you're not subscribed to Truckin' and Fixin' with Ryan, subscribe to that channel. He's got big things going on. He's building his own APU. And just a great channel. And the guy is so nice. Like, super humble. His wife was super nice, Sophie. So yeah, I got a picture with him. I only talked for a second, but I at least wanted to say hi. And who else did I see? I don't know. I think that was about it. Yeah, that's all the people I saw. Sheet Fairhauler says, and I'm logging on duty when changing my oil in case anyone from FMCSA is watching. You certainly are, because you are a good boy. Good boy. Yeah, he's great, Ryan. Yeah, anybody wants to drop the link to his channel? Appreciate it. Yeah, I like Ryan. Love Ryan. He's one of those guys that there's like certain trucking channels you got to be subscribed to because they're valuable. He's one of them. Jake Lacey says, heart disease caused by obesity is the #1 cause of death. Are you saying that I'm obese? You're right. You're right. I'm not going to lie. You're right. He says, we hope you seek help and get better. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. I think I'm out of here. Everybody have a great day. We'll see y'all next time.